Hey guys, it's Fred. Thanks for joining me. Once again, I'm going to be bringing you a video. Some of these videos that I bring you, I don't know the disposition of. I don't really know a lot of any of it except what I see on the video. And on this one here, I've also got some stuff on the computer that I found that was in a newspaper. But I do know there's a gentleman in here, Alex Payne, toward the end. Alex Payne was a trooper. I think he became a trooper in 84 or 85. I was a detective in Pike County at the time, and when Alex came there, I worked with him just on the road and different things. And I had a corrupt sheriff, and when it would come to drug dealers that I wanted to bust, that I knew the sheriff was going to protect or take care of, I would call Alex Payne, or I think his name was Steve Kellum. Had Alex or David Freely, Robert Garnes, Dwayne Price, several troopers in that area at the time that was good, decent troopers. And but Alex was a good one, and he went on to become lieutenant colonel or something in the state police, high up. He taught at the police academy. He retired, and I think he went back after that for a while to work at the state police. He went to the Department of Criminal Justice training in Richmond, Kentucky at the police academy, and after he retired from the state police. So Alex has been around, and you'll hear what he says here about open records and different things that will, this is not somebody off the street. This is somebody that knows. And he's not as bad. He's better at presenting it than I am, or calling it out. But he pretty much says the same thing that I say here. So here we go.
DRB investigation more than 2 years in the making on Kentucky state troopers who broke the law. They were caught in illegal drug buys, obtaining steroids, but never charged and never fired. And when we uncovered it, state police sued WDRB to keep it hidden. It's a story you'll only see here.
So why did you think this was a legal way to obtain a controlled substance?
Again, I agree it's shady. Looking back, do you see anything wrong?
Obviously, something's wrong with it, because I'm here now.
You were listening to internal affairs interviews done by Kentucky State Police and confessions
I'm guilty as all get out
from state troopers
I know ignorance is no excuse. I messed up.
who broke the
I
law.
wouldn't have done it had I known that it was illegal.
Officers Jason Carpenter, Anthony Trotter, Chad Piercy, and Jonathan Sizemore were caught getting prescriptions for steroids, testosterone, and human growth hormone from doctors in Florida they'd never seen.
It was 2 months worth that he sent. They came, FedEx came right to the door.
The testosterone was in a bottle. It was a liquid form.
Okay. Did it also come with syringes?
Yes.
I would take 2 months, like so it'd be 4 weeks and 4 weeks. I'd do 8 weeks.
And I thought it was very discreet. Local doctors talk.
It broke state and federal law, a felony offense, because the patients never had a face-to-face examination with the prescribing physician. Documents obtained by WDRB show the Food and Drug Administration tipped off state police. 4 troopers were among hundreds more receiving prescriptions illegally from doctors in Florida. The feds wanted the physicians and the pharmacy and didn't prosecute the officers, but left state charges up to local authorities. Did these state troopers break the law?
Yes, they did.
Rick Sanders was commissioner of Kentucky State Police at the time. The agency did not pursue charges against their own, and all 4 troopers kept their jobs.
People can be rehabilitated. And these troopers are a microcosm of our community. They're human beings, and they make mistakes. And I, as the commissioner, had to decide, is that mistake worth taking a career away from a trooper that may have been a good trooper for a number of years and made a mistake?
All the officers gave varying reasons for why they felt they needed testosterone, some more believable than others. like Carpenter had a medical condition and Sizemore was recovering from surgery, all gave the same excuse.
But I would not have went through that much trouble or spent all that money if I knew I was going to get in trouble.
Number one, I wouldn't jeopardize my career. Number two, I wouldn't jeopardize my reputation.
Did you believe these officers when they all basically said we didn't know what we were doing was illegal?
You know, I believe some of them.
Some were less believable. Anthony Trotter was an MMA fighter in Kentucky on the side and admitted in his interview that he was holding the steroids for his next bout.
Well, I even hate to say this, but I was waiting to try to get to where I could train for some fights and use it during that time.
Chad Piercy already had a DUI on his record while working with state police, and records show he'd been prescribed Suboxone, a medication to treat opioid addiction. So if you didn't believe their excuse, but you know they had broken the law, why is there place for any officer in Kentucky State Police that you believe may be dishonest?
Yeah, you know, but these are tough decisions. When you're sitting in that chair, and I had to make a lot of decisions on disciplinary actions. I fired troopers. I gave...
It's not a tough decision, guys. Let me explain something sitting there. He just got through saying it was a felony charge, federal charge. They ordered them from Florida, across state lines. It's not a hard decision. You've got police officers using steroids. We wonder what's wrong with some of these people's personalities. You know, steroids affects a person's personality. It affects the way the person acts, especially when you interact with the public. You've got state troopers acting like the trooper did on the highway, acting like just different videos that I've already shown. And this fella here, this is Rick Sanders. Now, Rick Sanders was the man that was in the last police academy class I ever went to for in-service, 2018. And he was the state police commissioner at the time, and he stood up and told all the sheriffs and police chiefs in there, it was a class for executives only. You had to be a sheriff or a chief to be in that class. And he stood up and said that the state police had started a new unit, a critical response unit. If you had a shooting or something in your department, call them and they'd investigate it for you and take the heat off the department investigating themselves. But yet we've got cases where the state police has investigated themselves, and well, there's videos. You can see the rest of the videos. But anyway, when you listen to this fella, I don't know. Use your own judgment.
Harsh punishment to troopers, and I did what I thought was the right thing to do.
The four officers received varying suspensions from 60 days to 180 days. Piercy getting the most, 6 months off, unpaid.
Steroid use, or abuse, I should say, has been a dirty little secret in law enforcement for a long time.
Alex Payne was number 2 at State Police, deputy commissioner to Rick Sanders.
I mean, to me, no normal, sane person, dials 1-800-JACK-ME-UP or whatever on the internet, and then that literally takes that for face value and just hammers it into your system, with a syringe. I mean, who does that? And especially a police officer. I mean, you ought to know better.
Documents show he recommended the terminations of Anthony Trotter and Chad Piercy.
You upset? Yeah, I mean, you get disappointed, but...
Did you push back? Did you ask? Did you ask?
But again, at the end of the day, that's not my decision. When the commissioner made that decision, then, okay, that's the decision that's got to be made. And, it's...
Now, guys, I seem to be down. A lot of people think, oh, Fred's down on police officers. Fred's down on troopers. There's you a good trooper. There's you a stand-up trooper right there. There's you a man that wrote down, recommended they be fired. That's all he could do at that point. He was the second in command. The other guy you saw a while ago made the decision to keep him. But this guy here speaking his piece there and says, who does that? First of all, what police officer out there is taking illegal drugs? I don't care if it's steroids or meth. They're both illegal. It's illegal to have them in your system. Imagine one of those troopers shooting somebody or a car accident, and then they do a drug test and steroids is showing up in your system. You might as well have Oxycontin or meth. It's an illegal drug, illegal substance. That's Alex Payne. Good police officer, good man.
it's not going to do you any good to argue about it because you got another black folder sitting on your desk and you better go over there and do your job with that one.
Black folders, you just heard him mention them there. That's what KSP calls internal affairs cases because they are literally kept in black folders and the department bends over backwards to keep what's in them hidden. And that's part 2 of our story. Tonight at 11, see how far state police went to cover this up from the public, including suing WDRB, and how taxpayers ultimately paid the price.
You know, guys, it's sad. They're supposed to be transparent, but yet they hide the folders. Can't get open records requests. I'll leave it at that. This video's long enough. Thank you, guys. We'll have part 2.